people? I've returned. Sorry about the darkness. I'm here right now, outside, just living life pretty much. Doing my thing here. And I'm just gonna teach you guys about a little bit of metal today. If y'all want to see what I got on. I'm just dressed out here doing my thing. Ugh, I don't walk around too much. Gotta get outside a little more. But I wanna break the metal down, the genres pretty much. And I want to just teach y'all a little something that y'all probably didn't already know or want to know. So I'm just trying to find a good angle where it's like a lot of light. Oh, that's bright right there. Okay, so basically we got breaking down the genres in metal pretty much. And it's basically, well, metal is a heavier sound of music, and what I like to really get into is black metal, death metal, speed metal, power metal, all that type of stuff. So, before I get into all that, a lot of people can't handle metal. They say, oh, it's too dark, it's too evil, it's too much screaming, and blah, 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 and whatnot. And I think it's just bullshit, really. If you just give it a chance, you might like it. I don't say metal's for everyone, because it's not. But if you give it a chance, you might learn something, and you might venture into music genres that you never listened to before. So let me get on my cheat sheet and let's start. So breaking down the genres, basically, death metal is really heavier type of metal music lyrics dealing with death, suffering, and mutilation and necrophilia. Basically, if you want to just get really into it, death metal is really just a really powerful sound. Things that most people with like regular vocals just can't, produce. I'm more of a black metal type of guy, but black metal lyrics really just deal with evil, darkness, and the supernatural, really. And whatever you just want to just conjure up, it's just really a dark form of music. Black metal is creed, is life, it's war, it's everything that you want it to be. And breaking down the genres, death metal and black metal, they're both really extreme genres, but one is gonna sound different from the other. One is probably heavier than the other. One of them has more shrieks, and when black metal consists of a lot of shrieks, just it's hard to explain. Like it's not really like I want to say black metal is screaming, but the screams are more like shrieks and like stuff like that. And death metal is more like roar, like stuff like that. So it's a really different sound to it and a different twist. And lyrics are basically pretty much different, but they're both good. Power metal is really just a mixture of heavy metal and speed metal, and just a really high pitched, fast paced genre with, high pitched vocals that I can't really produce because my voice is not in that range. I'm a baritone. So, yeah, so power metal is really good. Melodic death metal, the British, a lot of British bands, that's more like their type of style, basically. But melodic death metal and death metal are somewhat different, but at the end of the day, they all follow under the same category as metal, or death metal. And symphonic black metal is one of my favorites. And the thing about symphonic black metal is more of an orchestrated type black metal genre, and it's not like the raw old school, back in the 90s, like, you know, Hellhammer, Norgoroth, or just, I don't know, I'm just thinking of black metal bands, just basically the old school raw uncut black metal version, just raw vocals and without all this, symphonic sound and editing and all the special effects, goes back to the Mayhem days, really, really raw. just black metal. And now you got black metal bands like Demu and Satyricon and all these new black metal bands. Shade Empire, really great band. I'm listening to their album. I was listening to it last night and I gotta finish it. So really just raw sound. But now black metal is more symphonic. It's still the same, but it's just more, just more effects really, basically. And then it's just good. The melodic death metal is, I want to say, it's almost, like symphonic death metal and black and death metal. It's all. See, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is basically all these genres I'm talking about, they all have an origin because at the end of the day, they all follow under heavy metal rules. Uh, People basically don't understand metal is a subgenre of rock. As much as people hate to admit it, subgenres are like big when it comes down to metal, and you just gotta deal with it. Basically, if you want to learn, if you want to live, you gotta know the basics. You gotta know where the origin came from. Black metal started in Norway. Norwegians basically created black metal, and the black metal scene was really big back then, and it probably still is. D Mew from Norway, Mayhem, Satyricon, all these bands from Norway, and they just have a really unique story behind them. And when you think of black metal, you think of bands like Bathory, Venom, even though Venom is really just thrash, but they want to say they're the founding fathers of black metal, but how can you argue with them when they're so great? Uh, I think bands sometimes these days, people hate that you gotta categorize metal. Like, for example, Carnifex is deathcore, but why can't it just be death metal when, oh, Carnifex is really one of my favorite bands, but at the end of the day, they're always going to be classified as deathcore when they're really close to being a death metal band. Like, if you got a band like Obituary and Carnifex and you stick them in the same place, I mean, they're not going to sound the same, but their sound is going to be pretty similar if, they just have a drag out battle of the bands. But when I mean similar, I mean like Carnifex to me has the real old school death metal feel to them, but at the end of the day, that's not what they're gonna be categorized. But it doesn't matter, cause whether they're deathcore band or death metal, they're still good. And other great death metal bands, well, really symphonic is Septic Flesh, a really great band. And you got a band like that, and they just can't be compared, cause they're just amazing. It's not a lot of bands out there that can just have their own, you know, extinct sound, like just the sound that they can perform that nobody can copy and whatever. And that's good. I was posting something like Septic Flesh versus Cannibal Corpse. Some people were Septic Flesh fans, some people were Cannibal Corpse, but either way it goes, breaking down the genres, it's all about what your vocal range is. It's all about how much energy and strength and lung power you have. It's all about the diaphragm, really, when you're doing vocals. And all metal genres are pretty good. It doesn't matter how extreme, how intense, as long as you learn to explore and give it a chance, you might like it. Some people may not handle black metal. Some people might be death metal fans. Some people might be power metal fans. And good power metal bands like Halloween, Hammerfall, Dream Theater, those are good ones to start off with, really, if you really want to get deep into the genre. But just besides that, is other genres I haven't talked about. Grindcore, really extreme genre. It's like, golly, like, man, fuck. If you want to get into grindcore, you got to get past these first three, genres first. But if you can handle grindcore, you can definitely handle black metal and death metal and all of it. Because to me, grindcore is the most extreme form of metal ever. Like, it's really just nothing, like, compared to it. But metal was life, and metal got me through high school pretty much. Well, I'm almost out of high school, but it got me through like, you know, my earlier years in high school, freshman days, sophomore days, junior days, whatever. It's getting me through it, man. Metal has helped me, you know, keep my head up, man. It's life. And metal is just really something that you can look forward to when you're down and you just don't know what to do. Blast some metal music. Anytime you want to just hear a great band, just, look through the genres, man. And I do metal videos all the time talking about stuff like this, talking about genres, talking about what bands suck and what bands are posers and all this type of shit. Cradle of Filth, people want to consider them black metal. Like, come on now. Don't get me wrong, Cradle of Filth is a good band, but they're goth. As much as some people hate to say it, they're goth. And as much as Danny wants to be, like, oh, well, I'm Mr. Saragor, kinda angry and trying to be like him, as a picture of him next to Saragor trying to do corpse paint. Like, come on, Danny, like, stick in your, stay in your league. Like, you ain't ready for the big leagues. No, I'm just playing. Danny Filth is a really great musician, but anyways, yeah, when it comes down to metal, when it comes down to all of it, you gotta find where your place is, and you gotta just, live pretty much. And you don't have to start off with the heavier stuff. You can start off with rock, and you can progress. I started off with new metal before I started getting to all the extreme type of genres, cause well, I wasn't sure what to listen to, so I started up to the bottom and I made it to the top, to the extreme stuff and the real hardcore stuff, the real headbanging type stuff, the real stuff that will make you puke, lyrics that will make your head spin, literally. But anyways, I'm doing more videos like this, and next time we're gonna play some music for you guys, and we can excuse me, we can like get into this genre more and more, like deeper into it. Like I'm really into it right now, but I don't know. Metal is just something that can save us. Well, when it comes down to music, like don't you get tired of hearing this rap bullshit? Like let's explore, let's open our minds to something new, something more improved, something unique, something scary, whatever. Girls, they're like, oh, metal's so evil and demonic, and guys, they're like, man, let's turn on some rap and all this bullshit. Like, nobody want to listen to your ghetto ass, gangster hood Detroit rap music all day. People want to open their minds to something better. And that's what this video is about. Just not the genres, but just opening your mind, really. I like my bandana. I know it looks so freaking sweet, man. Yeah. Ladies, I'm out here, I'm out here. If you need a guy, you need a rock star, I'm the guy. I'm the man you're looking for. All this right here. Right here. Right here. Looking good, too. Right here, but I think I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's getting pretty long. I really like teaching lessons like these, and probably tomorrow I'm gonna teach you guys about growls and screams and a little, basically growling tutorial and how to do your vocals and all that type of stuff. Like, oh fuck, my voice is kind of messed up right now, so I'm not gonna give you guys a preview, but I will later, well tomorrow, for sure if I'm not doing nothing. And this is the new channel, the new platform, the Gothic Slut Gang, and this is just something that we're gonna live and enjoy for the rest of our lives. And the other channel, I'm not looking forward to doing any more videos, so yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and yeah, live people and stay metal.